How bad then, first of all, are these fires?
They're extremely bad. They're some of the worst fires, if not the worst fire in the nation's history. We still don't have a full sense of it.
Now to the wildfire emergency in Israel. Firefighters are battling what officials say are likely the largest fires in the nation's history. Our foreign correspondent, Tom Sufi-Burge, is on the scene for us. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Michael. Yeah, these now blackened and charred hillsides are actually still smouldering over in the distance there. The flames torching around 5,000 acres of land here just west of Jerusalem. And we've been watching in the last few moments as planes have been circling overhead, dumping fire retardant onto these hills. The flames raging out of control Wednesday. People abandoning their vehicles on a major highway as fire crews race to contain the blaze. Israel's Air Force with this impressive view from above as they drop blocks of fire retardant. The winds yesterday hitting 50 miles an hour. With the flames spreading so quickly, some 10,000 people were told to leave their homes. The good news, guys, this morning is that temperatures are down significantly, as are those winds.
אני נוסע, תעשי וידאו. יש וידאו, תעוף. תראי מה זה, על הכביש. יהודה, אם אתה לא טס מהר, אני הורגת אותך. אנחנו בתוך האש. לא. אז למה נותנים לאנשים? מה יעשו? מתפוצצו? מה זה? שיעצרו אותם שם, הנה. יו, גם יש פה. הנה, אותם עצרו, זהו, ראינו אותם לא נותנים. יש גם אש. הם לא צריכים לברוח מהמכוניות שהתפוצצו. וואו, צריכים לצאת במכוניות. יהודה, עוף מפה. אני עף.
Residents have been moved to safety. Israel's Prime Minister says Italy and Croatia are sending firefighting aircraft to support the emergency response.
This is when the fires reached the main highway linking Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Israel has deployed its military to help the firefighters. Dozens of teams, aircraft, and helicopters have been trying to control the flames. Like this heavy transport military aircraft. But the blazes show no sign of slowing down.
A lot of police and firefighters arrived, but it didn't really help. The fire had already taken over the whole area, as you can see behind me.
Israel's Prime Minister has declared a national emergency.
Given our limited resources, the priority right now is to defend Jerusalem. That is of utmost importance. And I don't yet know how far the fire has spread in other parts of the country. We need to use every available tool and mobilize as many resources as possible. The western wind can easily push the fire towards the outskirts of Jerusalem and even into the city itself.
Jerusalem's fire chief says this may be the largest fire in the region in a decade.
Now, a little earlier, journalist Balik Sladin gave us an update on the situation from Tel Aviv.
Yes, so let's start with the 100 or more actually teams that are still fighting the fire all over the hills of Jerusalem, which is the main area where the fire is, in 11 different locations actually. So with two main ones, there are still active fires there, and the teams are dealing with them. And also outside of Jerusalem, more than a dozen teams are also dealing with the fires outside of Jerusalem in areas with a little bit more. A little bit less smaller fires, but they're still also active. They can't say until now that the fire is under control, but definitely they are working on that.
Israeli authorities say more than 2,000 hectares have been burnt in the last 2 days. The fires are being investigated, with Israeli police and the intelligence agency Shin Bet leading that charge. There has been suggestions that this could be the result of arsonists, and the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has added further fuel to that, using a speech today to claim 18 people had been arrested. He's pointed to Palestinian sources talking about burning the land on social media. However, Israeli media is reporting only 3 people have been arrested, and none of those arrests are in relation to the main fires in the Jerusalem hills. Rather, they were detained for allegedly trying to start fresh fires elsewhere in Israel. Israel's president has used an address for the nation's Independence Day to say this is part of a larger climate crisis which can't be ignored. For now, it appears that the situation is easing. Certainly here on the roof of the ABC Bureau, the skies are far clearer than they were yesterday. There was smoke blanketing much of Jerusalem, and this is some 25 kilometres away from where those fires were burning. But the community and the Israeli authorities remain on guard, as this is just the beginning of a long and hot summer.
And it could still expand. I don't know how much you can see that the skies above Jerusalem that are normally blue and very, very clear, especially now in springtime, are just filled with dust, and the smell in the air is as if I were sitting next to a fireplace. It's been this way since yesterday with very, very powerful winds, and at the end of a winter that was a drought. And so the circumstances are particularly harsh. The other thing is, today is Independence Day in Israel, normally celebrated with barbecues, with people having little, marshmallows on the fire. The entire country has been shut down. Trains between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem aren't working. There's no public transportation. The roads are very iffy. Most have been closed. There have been tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people evacuated, and the fires are not yet under control.
How are the authorities trying to respond to this then, Noga?
Well, they're doing a pretty hapless job of it. I want to tell you, there's a lot of criticism, heavy criticism against the government for having been unprepared, especially after the Israeli fire chief said that this was an entirely predictable result of climate change that was known about. The other thing is that Israel suffered 10 years ago from a different fire, forest fire, but a terrible fire up north in Haifa. And the results of that, the investigation of that fire, the results of that investigation were never put into place. Prime Minister Netanyahu was prime minister back then, appears to have entirely ignored the recommendations, and now Israel's in a position of basically having been making phone calls all night to countries as far away as Argentina, begging for help. Israel does not have sufficient airplanes that can dump water on these massive fires. In addition, the very heavy winds made air power almost impossible. So it's a tricky situation, and the government is trying to basically turn what's a wrecked Independence Day into some sort of facade of accountability.
I'm at the end of myself and I'm tired. I've tried all that I know to do. Right now it's just by a thread, but I'm hanging on to you. I'm running out of hope. I need a miracle, and if I ever needed you, it's right now. Oh God, I'm desperate, down on my knees. Send help from heaven, 'cause that's what I need. Redeem this wreckage, restore my peace. I'm not asking, I'm begging. Lord, come through for me. I need heaven and I'm desperate, desperate. Oh, I need you're my only hope. I need a miracle, and if I ever needed you, it's right now. Oh God, I'm desperate, down on my knees. Send help from heaven, 'cause that's what I need. Redeem this wreckage, restore my peace. I'm not asking, I'm begging. Lord, come through for me. I need heaven and I'm desperate, desperate. Oh, I need heaven and I'm desperate, desperate. Oh, I need heaven and I'm.
So keep your head up. Jesus is coming back. Jesus is coming back. No, don't you give up. No, 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 no. Jesus is coming back.